Want some? Get some. Can I get a hell yeah?
Yes, I am a pirate.
You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything.
It's a pirate's life for me.
Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're pirate.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Well, you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
Whoever Omaha, I can promise you that.
And it's purple all night long in Eastern North
You're
Carolina.
watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down of my soul. And I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome in to the Sports Objective as we have On Deck, a part of our Pirate baseball coverage here all season long. And want to give a shout out to Alan, Vic. Thank you, and you and Johnny Robertson for being patient with me tonight as I had commissioner duties. So there was a big event for the Chamber of Commerce in Washington, Martin County. I was going to say Martin and Washington counties, but they are not together anymore. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, congratulations to the Beargrass Mayor, Charlotte Griffin, won the Citizen of the Year, and my good friends, Joey and Militia Robertson from Robertson Brothers. Alan, I know, has heard me tell the story. They actually still pump gas. They pump your gas full service. They come out, check the fluids. They won Business of the Year. So
yeah, that's cool.
Congratulations to them. And I'm here now. So thank you for the guys being patient. And it's one of those things you got to attend once a year. So I don't have to, but it's very important to do. So let's talk Pirate baseball. How many of you want to talk Pirate baseball? Getting another win. Nice to be home against Elon. And Johnny and Alan, just want to get your thoughts about the game and getting ready for UAB this weekend.
Well, my thoughts were, hey, 4-3 against Elon. I'll take it. I don't care if how we win. A win is a win. We needed that win. And, I was really, really, really impressed with the way that Ryan Towers pitched. I think he's, really starting to feel more comfortable on the mound after missing the entire season last year. And he had another really good showing that, got us going on, when was that? Tuesday night? Yeah, Tuesday night. Yep. In his first two games, he only pitched 3.1 innings, allowed 7 hits, 7 earned runs. But in his last 3 efforts, he's pitched 10 innings, 6 hits, no runs, no earned runs. And, he had 5 strikeouts in 5 innings. Just looked really good. And then Frank Saccone came in after him, and he pitched 1 inning of pretty much perfect baseball. Scoreless baseball anyhow. So, our hitting was okay the first part of the game. Our pitching was excellent. And then, the second part of the game, our pitching got a little bit shaky. But we were able to scrape out a 4-3 victory, which, again, we really needed. So I don't know. What do you think, Alan?
We're starting to see this team win games in different ways. And that's what, we've had some games we scored a bunch of runs. We've had some games where we didn't score a bunch of runs and won. We've, you look at it, what are we now, 7 out of 8, something like that? And, I mean, you can't complain. Like you said, Johnny, a win is a win. Coming home to start conference this weekend, that was huge for momentum. And now is the time to put it in gear. We've seen this team kind of maybe starting to hit its stride, and this is an extremely important weekend for the Pirates.
No doubt about it, guys. You were exactly right, both of you. As a guy who lost his first basketball game as a coach by 88 points, That was rough. Welcome to coaching. I can tell you that I get sick and tired of hearing when people say, I know what they mean by ugly win, but a win is a win is a win. Look, winning.
That's the dumbest saying in the history of dumb sayings. There is no such thing as an ugly win at all. Never. Zero.
Tell that to the people that lose by, you can lose by 1 point, 1 vote, whatever. A win is a win is a win is a win. And we won the game. And that Elon team had beaten NC State, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they did.
Beat the Wolfpack.
Cliff said it was an ugly win, but
that's just a.
I know. I'm not a cliche guy, Alan. I'm with you. They should retire that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, whenever you have 56 games in the regular season and you have these tough games, another thing too is people always talk about how you can learn a lot from a loss. You can also learn a lot from a win, and a particular, tight game like that, for sure. And
well, that was our third 1-run game in a row, and we couldn't pull out the first one, which was the game 2 in the Penn series, but the last 2, we figured out a way to, secure the victory, and that is encouraging, Dave. So we're 6-1 in midweek games now. We're 7-1 on the weekends, and this is, Alan said, very important series. It starts conference play. We can set the tone with a resounding series win. Or, I'm calling for the sweep, but we'll see what happens. But, yeah, we need to start winning on the weekend more, and we need to start winning at home a little bit more. And this is the time, to get everything to our injuries, too. We're overcoming some injuries, and I was interested to see how Cliff was going to handle the lineup and putting Carlos at second base and then putting Braden out in left field. Wasn't what I expected, but it worked. I mean, Carlos had both of his hits were doubles. I think on the year he has 2 home runs and 4 doubles, only 9 hits, 6 of them are extra base hits. So, when Carlos gets a hold of the ball, it's many times it's for extra bases. So that worked out well. The Kalinic, I think he was rewarded for his pinch hit home run, and he was the DH. I'm not sure that I might not expect to see maybe Alex Boucher at DH this weekend, because, Kalinic has been our hero and all the glory to him, but he's batting 112 on the season. You just don't, your DH can't be batting 112. That's what killed us in the Conway Regional.
Oh, yeah.
Our DH and pinch hitting we just didn't have any. And so I think maybe I didn't disagree with Kalinic getting the DH assignment, but I think going forward, I think he's just going to go with whoever's bat is going to be the most capable. And I think that's probably AB over Michael Kalinic.
No doubt. And as we bring in the heavyweight champion of the Sports Objective, Wildfire, Justin Butts. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, guys. How about you guys?
All right.
Hey, Justin.
Doing great. Hey, Justin.
Get your thoughts on being the heavyweight champion. How does it feel?
Man, it feels great. Feels great. What a great weekend for the Pirates. I wish we could have got the sweep there, but hey, got conference play started this weekend, so looking forward to a great weekend of baseball.
And we got the win against Elon, like we were just talking right before you did. I know Justin's going back to school as a Pirate, so we're happy about that. I know you were finishing up an exam right before we came on. So
an exam that I was 2 days late on.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute.
Coming off spring break, man. I was, kids and ball but yeah, I actually made an A7 on the test, so I'm good.
All right, we'll take. Hey, Pirate fans, that's almost an A. So we'll take. Hey,
look, C's get degrees, right? What they say around in Greeley.
What are you saying, Justin?
C's get degrees. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing. It's an atmosphere and weather climate class. I have no clue why I need that in logistics, but oh well.
Yeah, I was listening to the Michael Schwartz interview, and never once did he say Justin Butts cost us that win.
There you go. Bingo. But Kim McNeil said it was your fault they lost out in the tournament. No comment on that.
What's up, Craig? And how you doing, Kenny? He says we really need a strong weekend of baseball, conference baseball. Absolutely. I want to remind everybody, by the way, Saturday, April 25th, I want Justin Butts, Alan Vick, Johnny Robertson, the whole crew. We're having our alumni baseball tailgate. It's going to be in the premium parking lot, and we'll have a whole bunch of stuff there. Great food, some pirate beverages for the Wildfire for the heavyweight champion. And we're stuck with sodas, guys. But, you got when it's the NWA heavyweight champion of the world, you got to roll out the red carpet, right?
Yeah, no doubt. If Johnny's going to be there with the belt, you can't do the what is it, Mountain Mist. You got to go with the real thing and do the real Mountain Dew. I mean, that's
Mountain Lightning.
VIPs are when the VIPs are at the tailgate, you got to go all out for sure.
There you go.
Johnny, would you drink a Mountain Mist?
I don't know. Mountain Dew, I like the flavor of it, but man, it's got so much caffeine. I try to not. I'm a coffee guy, so I get my caffeine through my coffee. But Mountain Mist, I don't think I've ever had one. I wouldn't be opposed to trying it though.
Mountain Dew is nectar of the gods.
Oh, I love it. I just wish it would make it with less caffeine.
Yeah, give me a Pepsi Cola all day long.
Yeah. Pepsi products in general, I'll go ahead and say I'm very partial to Pepsi products.
So the Minji's Bottling Group, hey, you're part of Pirate Nation. Sponsor the Sports Objective.
Yeah, when they yanked the Pepsi stuff out a few years ago and put the Coke stuff in,
man,
oh my gosh, I didn't sleep for 3 days.
It's about like broadleaf hot dogs. I never understood why we took broadleaf hot dogs away from concession stands and got the nasty brown hot dogs. Who wants a brown hot dog? It's an Eastern North Carolina thing. Broadleaf hot dogs and Pepsi Cola. I'm just saying.
It's hard to beat a bright leaf hot dog for sure. Yeah.
All right. We got by the way, Justin, Josh Thomas hasn't slept since Sunday. And he wants to know, he was really upset on Sunday's game with officiating or this weekend. Now that Justin is here, I want to hear his opinion on the umpires last weekend with the Penn series.
Well, Josh, I did not catch a lot of the weekend games. I was busy umpiring myself, but from what I saw, I thought they did a halfway decent job. I mean, I can't complain too much on the umpires there this weekend. But like I said, what I saw, I thought they did a good job. If there's something I missed, please tell me.
I'm going to do an impression of Wildfire, okay? And these referees, these umpires graded out at 98%, okay? Even though all the coaches got ejected and they graded out at 98%.
Hey, you got to stay with the umpire clue.
No, Dave, nobody got ejected because the umpires didn't want to do the paperwork.
Hey. Johnny, that is a true statement. That is a true statement.
Man,
I do not like doing the paperwork.
I did not know I was setting up that, Johnny. That was nicely done. Oh my gosh.
I could probably count on my fingers the amount of coaches I've ejected over my 15-year career in umpiring.
So we're going to get back for people joining us. We'll get back to Pirate Baseball. I got to know, I've been dying to ask you this, and I just realized I've never asked you this. What is the worst thing a coach has ever said to you, Justin? You're like, you're out of here, brother. Early shower.
I can't really say it on air.
Or can you give us the G-rated version?
You're a POS.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Not going to tell you what coach that was, but he is from Eastern North Carolina. And
he said you don't know blank.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Is it Martin County?
No, that coach at Martin County, I love him to death. You got a great coaches there. I will tell you, hey, look, we have some great coaches in Eastern North Carolina. Ben Brand at Green Central, Corey Skinner at eight over there at Aiden Grifton. Mike McKeel down at West Craven. Great Josh Van Meter down at East Colorado. We got some great coaches at East Colorado. Alan Thomas over there at Charles Bieka. Noah Edens over at Princeton. Very great guys. So I really don't have no problems with them tonight. But, just this one coach, this was probably 5 or 6 years ago. He's no longer at the school. But then I see him over there at East Carolina games on time. But there was a call that I made, and he just didn't agree with it. And he called me, you know what? And I gave him the he-ho. But you gotta have thick skins on, bro. They don't take long.
They should make the person that got ejected fill out the paperwork.
That they do. See, in North Carolina, the North Carolina High School Athletics says you get ejected, you have to take a sportsmanship class, you got to take another class, and it's a $500 fine to the school. So
the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, that's what they need is more money.
They have no money.
So somebody told me, and I was reading an article somewhere, that the North Carolina High School Athletic Association has more money than the ACC.
I would that's probably true.
I don't know about that, but let's put it this way: they've got somewhere in the neighborhood of like $26 million.
That's absurd for a high school.
Yep, and then they charge.
But you can't pay a fit. But officials are not paid enough. You got all these.
That's true.
Fans that belittle. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yep, it's
Justin. I had a question for Justin because I saw you shared with us, what your pay rate was.
Yeah.
And you had to travel down to. I think you went to Carteret one time, Whiteville another time. And are you getting travel expenses as well, or is that just a flat fee?
That's a flat fee. All right, so I'll tell you this.
Oh, man.
Tomorrow I will be back down in Carteret County. $82 for one game. Now, luckily, the game they were supposed to play this team Tuesday night, got rained out, so they added a doubleheader in there. So I get 2 game fees at $82 a pot. So I mean, it's $160 bucks. I mean, it's still not bad, but it should be more.
Yeah, they should pay your travel expenses for sure.
No, at least 10 cents a mile or 5, just a little something. North Carolina's one of the few states that don't do that. I know South Carolina, Virginia does it, but you don't get travel per diem until you reach at least the Division II, Division I level.
Yeah, how many businesses in the area, like my wife's business, she gets mileage when she runs errands for the company. Oh, yeah. She gets mileage, and that's to me. That's just a no-brainer. They should be paying your mileage.
Exactly.
But I would say also, how many years have you been doing it, Justin?
Good Lord, it's probably 15 years now that I've been doing it.
For me, I could see where even though I would give it, I would just say I would give it across the board. However, I could make an argument where after a certain amount of years that you have tenure and we're going to give you your travel expenses because that's the way you can keep officials, right? So
and you don't have officials, and that is the big issue in North Carolina high school athletics association now, and the ad hoc officiating. There's a committee out there that meets with the state board and all that, Chapel Hill, and the big thing is a pay raise. And luckily, we've got a little bit of a pay raise, but still, I mean, for let's say high school football, we just started getting $100 for Friday night. 5 years ago, it was only like 80.
I can't believe that.
And even for basketball, it's not you do a double for basketball. I mean, you probably getting $110, $120 for that doubleheader.
Josh said he made more off of basketball tonight.
Well, like I said, I mean, it's still, I mean, even high school baseball is $82. You get into the playoffs, it's $86 for tournaments. $86. It's ridiculous.
The broadcast,
Justin,
right?
But you're going down to Whiteville, and gas is $3.60 a gallon. And what kind of rig do you have? What are you driving?
I'm driving a Denali.
So you're not like
I'm paying
getting great gas mileage. So
$5.62 a gallon. So break that down. I mean, I'm doing it more for the love of the game. I'm not making any money.
Clearly, you are and I respect that because clearly you're not doing it to get rich.
You can't when you're doing JUCO ball down into high school, even this travel ball. I mean, I don't do travel ball no more, but you guys for a 16-year-old kid, you can go out there and make $400 or $500 a weekend and work from 8 to 5:30, 6 o'clock Saturday and Sunday. That's equates to probably $20, $25. You can't beat that for that kind of kid. That's a good job for like a high school, college age kid. But when you have to work like I do and have to do all that, you're doing it for the love of the game. You're not doing it because you're going to make money. And that's where people don't understand, the general fans. Now, you can belittle at the D1 level. Them guys are making great money. That's great. But when you come down to the middle school, high school level, and even the youth leagues, these guys are not out there making a ton of money. And that's what belittles me about some of these parents today is you're out there belittling these guys. They're out there. They're going to make mistakes.
You make mistakes, Justin?
Yeah. Of course you do. I made one on let's see, I had a game Tuesday night. I made 2 or 3 mistakes. Just simple things that I knew that I had a brain fart.
And the last thing we want to see is the human element be taken out of it. So screaming at umpires and whatever, you need to stop and really think long and hard about doing this because, one of these days, I hope it never happens, but one of these days we're leaning towards, a computer calling a baseball game, and that's not a good thing.
It's a good thing if they would have done that in Nashville. I'll tell you that. It would have been a good thing. We might have made Omaha. But I agree in whole that I don't want to see everything automated. Yeah. But I mean, something has to be done. I mean, with that was crazy.
Well, what I would like to see is as far as baseball, and again, if you're just joining us, Pirates won, of course, Tuesday night 4-3. We'll be talking about March Madness. We're going to be talking about previewing UAB. And of course, don't forget on Sunday night, we'll have our extra innings about that very series. But you're right, guys. I think there's one thing that I would like to see, when we had the pitch clock, but I would really, really, really like to see. I'm not talking about every single ball and strike. I mean, that would be ridiculous. But I do think they need to have an official up in the booth and have like an earpiece and say, hey, bruh, you're like, I don't know. I would like to see something where you guys missed a call on that, something from the booth. Because
awesome idea, Dave. Yeah. Just, hey, you're missing these. You're way off here. You need to recalibrate or something because you're not getting these calls right. Like after one inning or so they can think about it and maybe make the proper adjustments.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not saying in the earpiece, man, that was a ball. That was a ball. Not that. Now, I'm not talking about that. That will drive me nuts because the game would probably be 4 hours long. But there are, I believe that the strike zone, that's the thing, Justin, is that I don't care. I do care when they make big mistakes, but I know they're going to make mistakes. I give them grace on that. What I don't like is the inconsistency on the strike zone, and I think the only thing that you can do on that situation is you say, oh man, Wildfire's calling, and it's going to be a really small strike zone. All right, guys. And I'll tell you another thing too is when you have to be careful with as far as the Pirates go and the different teams, but when it comes to the strike zone, you can't just stand there because they might call strike 3 on you, right? So, but anyway.
And Dave, that's the beauty of baseball. Each umpire is going to be different. It doesn't matter. I mean, you don't have a different strike zone every day. Each strike zone is a little bit different. Now, the book defines the strike zone, but it's the human element of it. What might be a strike one day might be a ball one day. I mean, but that's the human element.
But that, I know you say the beauty, but that's downright ugly.
Dave, you're looking at it from a fan perspective too. So that's what I'm saying.
I know, but go ahead, John.
I thought the umpire in the Penn series this weekend was consistently bad both ways. I don't think anybody had an advantage until the 8th and 9th inning where Jenkins got.
I can, from a fan perspective, I can live with a bad zone umpire as long as he's consistent both sides. When you start being inconsistent both sides, then that's what, even as an umpire, we talk about it all the time in meetings, clinics. Consistency. And you just have some guys that just ain't consistent.
Right. Part of the art of hitting is figuring out what the strike zone is, and whoever's behind the plate, and make the adjustments. That's exactly right.
Yeah. But I challenge anybody, if you think you can call balls to strikes easily, get behind the plate.
No, I'm not. I could probably.
That's why you can't call balls to strikes, Nate. It's easy sitting up in the stands, but you get right there in it and have a 97, 98 mile an hour fastball coming right into your head, and that catcher can't catch. You tell me if it's a strike or a ball.
Yeah, I think Alan will be the perfect person to be an umpire.
Well, I'm just saying that's why I admire, and I'm not just saying that because Justin's on. I admire umpires and what they go through, and officials and referees in all sports.
Look, and I was one of them fans. I'd argue balls and strikes all day long, but until I became an official and gone through it, I have a lot more respect for these guys. It's an art. I mean, it's an art. It's like anything. Even when I coached, a summer league baseball team, I'd be sitting in the dugout. I'm like, I can't see that outside corner. How can some of these coaches see this mess?
And let's face it, every fan thinks their team is getting screwed.
Bingo. Especially at the Division I.
Every fan thinks their team is getting screwed. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it is. That's human nature.
And like I said, I don't think some of these umpires are out there trying to screw up a game. They're not sitting up there trying to screw a rule, or everybody talks about the Tulsa screw job. I don't think that referees meant to do that. Now they probably screwed up something, but I don't think they intentionally tried to make that mistake.
That was an anomaly. I usually agree with you on everything, but that one was 3 or 4 penalties in a row.
Yeah.
After I don't have a problem. Like I said, I may not be happy with we lost Justin, so I didn't put him in the penalty box, guys. I really didn't.
Kyle has a theory on that whole thing, though, Dave. I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yeah, I am. And, I'm not normally conspiracy theory, but again, when it's like 4 penalties in a row and we're driving on Tulsa, I mean, it was nuts on that series. It wasn't like, and here's the thing on that particular night, it wasn't like we've seen it. Alan and I go, we're shaking our heads. But, when you get a offsides penalty on the defense, or you get a false start on the offense, we're going, come on, man. That's like your 4th one tonight. But we're still pulling for the Pirates. No, this was.
Hey, I'm sorry, Dave.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just saying, there was still more. I know there's some people that tune in just to listen to the, Pirate baseball. And I still had a little bit more to say about the Elon game, but I feel like we're getting further and further away from it. So it's going to reach the point where I'm not going to be able to go there. Can I just, can I finish up real quick?
Of course. Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. So anyhow, the 4-3 victory, what I liked is that we had our 7, 8, and 9 guys, which was Davin Whitaker, Colby Wallace, and Walker Barron. They went 6 for 10. They provided all 4 runs, 3 of the 4 RBIs, and now Davin's been lighting it up. When he gets his chance at the plate, he's been doing really well, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does the rest of the way. And Colby Wallace finally hit his first home run. And he's on a 10-game hitting streak, which, I mean, up to before he's had his 10-game hitting streak, the longest hitting streak this season was 6 games, which Braden did and AI also did. So now Colby's got a 10-game hitting streak. It's still alive. Hit his first home run. We had our first 3 home run game the game before, and then we followed it up with Colby's first. We got the 7, 8, 9 order just really producing at maximum efficiency. And we know that Braden at the top of the lineup, we know Braden is going to keep it going. And Matt Lashley's been great. He didn't get a hit against Elon, but odds are this weekend he's going to be back in there. So I just like the way that everything's heading with this offense, even with the injuries. Obviously, we need Jack Herring back. We need Jack Herring back. He's just critical. He's critical. We need him back. But I'm just glad that they were able to piece it together without him, and that was a great win. And but I did want to mention Colby's 10-game hitting streak, and I want to mention the 7, 8, 9 guys. Just when you have 7, 8, 9 guys doing that kind of damage, you're in good shape, in my opinion.
No doubt. And, guys, with that, I believe that we talked about it. I'm just happy with by the way, with the pitching. When you think about the depth of our pitching, we're going to have somebody asked me today at work, and I mentioned injuries, but something we face. I hate this. It sounds so like casual or like that. I don't care, but injuries are part of the game. Like, I don't like it. It's not like I say, hey, I want injuries for our players. But it is part of the game. It's next man up. And I believe that the good thing about this team is overall, I believe that the depth that we have at pretty much every position, they've done a nice job. Coach Palumbo, Coach Godwin, and everybody. Coach Knight, and with Jake Agnos back with the pitching. We've got former guys there. I think I really believe, I told the person today at work that I believe when it comes to May, we're going to be playing at a very high level. I could be wrong, but it was good to hear Cliff talk about how that he's excited about this team. I think this team has a lot of talent, and the good news about Pirate Nation with the baseball team is we have high expectations, and we just need to, it's okay to have the high expectations, but like Alan, we talk about it all the time off air, is sometimes our fans can be our own worst enemy, meaning that, don't turn on these kids. Look at Boucher. He got in his head last year, but he's done a lot better this year. And we need to rally behind these guys. These guys are our Pirates. It's not like they pull like they're a different team and we're pulling for them. So they are who we are. They are our team. They are our family. And to me, it feels weird I think it's one thing to be constructive, but it feels weird when people keyboard bandits, like we talked about off air, pre-show, when they're, I know they have every right. They spend their hard-earned money on the tickets, but just keep that in mind that these kids are working very hard.
What are they trying to accomplish, Dave? That's the part I never can grasp what their objective is by trashing our players. It's like, so what does that do? Who does that help? And how's that going to help the situation? And you go out there and do it. These kids are doing their best. They're wearing our colors. They chose to be at this university. Many of them could have been other places. And so they have a bad game and you're going to try to run them out of town or something. I hate that.
It's people are looking for clicks and attention, and that's it. Clicks and attention. And speaking of injuries, we have a section of fans that tear ACLs every year from jumping on and off the bandwagon. Because
Good point, Alan.
Every game, one game goes well, rah, next game doesn't go so well. I just hope a lot of these people don't live their lives outside of Pirate baseball the way they live their lives and criticize on the message boards. Because if they do, that's a pretty miserable existence.
I think there's some that we call, I know that we had a former chancellor who said the lunatic fringe. I don't think it's, the good news is for our fan base is I don't think it's a lot of people. I think what it is like they're the ones that are like conspiracy theory and, all this kind of crap. They're the loudest ones. And, it's funny. One game, Cliff Godwin doesn't know how to coach, like you talked about. And the next, that Coach Godwin is the best coach in the country. He's the best coach. He's the best coach, period. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm not saying the baseball program would fold because we have a strong, foundation, but Cliff Godwin knows a lot about baseball, and he's a really good coach. He's a really good dude. Alan and I have known him I'm not close. We're not close friends or anything. I'm not saying that. But as far as the media perspective, he's a really good guy. And I think, that's what's hard about, I know Justin knows about this being an umpire, but that's what's hard about the day and age that we live when online and social media, when people can say, like Alan talked about earlier, they can just say whatever they want to say, and they have no criticism. They have no backlash for it when they say the most ridiculous things. It's just mind-boggling.
No, I agree, Dave. I think it's okay to criticize Cliff occasionally. I've done it, but only in the context of I don't like it when he goes after the fans. The few people that are doing the keyboard warriors or whatever you want to say, I feel like sometimes he drags the rest of us in with him and saying it's just us in the locker room against everybody else, which it's not that, and it's never been that. And that's the only time I've ever really criticized him, because anybody that doesn't think that real, baseball fans that are very knowledgeable at other schools would love to have Cliff Godwin as their coach. I can tell you that right now.
Yep.
They would celebrate if Cliff Godwin was like to go to their school. They would be like, they would be on cloud nine. And here we have him, and there's just no way I'm ever going to. I'll never be that way. That's the only time I've criticized him is when I just thought that he should not group all the fans together.
I get it. I get what you're saying. And let's be honest, Cliff Godwin has had numerous opportunities to go other places in the last
Georgia Tech, LSU, South Carolina.
He wants to be here.
Yeah, he wants to be here because think about how smart he is that he's coaching his alma mater. He's been extremely successful, the most winningest coach we've ever had, the super regionals. And I'm going to tell you something. The day that we knock down that door and we go to Omaha, we need to put a statue in front of Clark LeClaire because Cliff Godwin got us there. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but.
And hey, Dave, also academically, it couldn't be more impressive. How many academic All-Americans and regional academic All-Americans, conference All-Americans. I mean, it's just, that's almost impressive as the wins, because he's doing that and winning. It's
in the landscape of college athletics right now. Let's be honest. Cliff Godwin and Pirate baseball is one of the few places where academics still matter. I mean, let's just be honest.
It's not that they even matter. It's like mandatory. You've got to you got to do it, or you're not going to see the field.
Yeah, let's just be honest. These kids are great in the classroom. They're great citizens, great human beings, and are going to be successful post baseball. I'd be shocked if you see a Cliff Godwin player 10 years from now on a 30 for 30. I made $100,000 at my school, and now I'm broke and I'm working, the graveyard shift at 7-Eleven, and I don't have any money, and blah, 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 blah. There's going to be a ton of that coming over the next 10 years. And that's very sad. Very sad.
Johnny, you can see the story where a major league pitcher from East Carolina, he was working the graveyard shift at 7-Eleven. And
I've done that, though. I've actually done that. And why I did it is because back then minimum wage is which is what 7-Eleven was paying. I moved to Fort Lauderdale just for a summer. And so I could make 25 cents more an hour if I worked graveyard. And let me tell you, if you've never done it, it's an experience that you'll never forget. The kind of people that come in there.
Yeah, if you've never done overnights, it completely changes your body chemistry. Day becomes night, night becomes day. The human body is not meant to stay up all night and sleep all day. It's just we're not wired that way. I admire people that can do it because it's necessary in some fields, but boy, it's tough. I can speak from experience. It is as you can, Johnny. It is very difficult.
I thought we were all rock stars, though.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, or the vampires. Yeah, vampires
all day like Kiss.
Yeah,
see, where's Stevie when we need him?
But Pirate baseball, UAB coming. First of all, guys, the weekend weather looks really, really, really nice.
Yes, it does. In fact,
we need a huge crowd out there tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday because the weather. I don't believe might be a chance of some rain late Sunday, but otherwise it looks really good.
Now, Sunday's afternoon game is going to be in the 80s. 70. Yeah. The Saturday's what, 76, 70 something.
Looks great. Everything looks great. Time to start working on your springtime tan.
Oh, wow. We see Wildfire there. If you're listening, you may not be able to see him, but if you're watching with his avatar, you see how he's in really good shape there. Wildfire, Justin Butts, he's got the NWA, but he's in really good shape. He can work on the tan.
Well, that's the plan this weekend is work on my suntan down in Correct County, baby.
Yeah, he's by far the most famous Wildfire I know because Tommy Rich only held the belt for like 9 days. And he's been the champion now for months and months and months.
Well, he's our champion. He's the people's champion of the sports.
The two most famous Wildfires are Justin Butts and the Michael Murphy song.
Michael
Horse.
Yeah.
The horse.
Wildfire. Oh man, yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so UAB coming to town, and I know, Johnny, one of my favorite times of the year, believe it or not, I know we have a great non-conference schedule, but I like being in, I don't know, what is it about conference play? It seems like, with this, every game matters. There's a level of, I'm not saying non-conference doesn't matter or that we take it casually at our school, but man, conference play is a really big deal. We need to sweep a lot of these series because we want to host a regional.
Absolutely, we do. And when the schedule first came out, I was like, okay, our first conference series is at home against UAB. That's awesome because they're a bottom feeder, and we have really good luck against them. And that's a good way to get tuned up for the conference season. But right now, they're the highest rated RPI team in the conference. And there's just no way that's going to hold up. In my opinion, there's just no way. But as it is right now, they are the highest rated RPI team in the conference. And they've hit 40 home runs. They have a guy, JP Head, who's hit 12 of them. And they have Landon Beavers back, who last year they hit 10 home runs against us in 3 games, and Beavers had 2 in 1 game. So he's back. Landon Head, or not, JP Head has 12 home runs on the year. So you just can't dismiss them as a pushover because they're going to be swinging the bat, and our pitching's going to have to come through. Now on the bright side, their pitching has not been good at all. If it wasn't for Memphis, who's one of the worst team ERA teams in the nation, UAB would be dead last in the American. But as it is, they're 9th. But we need to, our pitching just has to continue to do what it's been doing. And I think our bats will get plenty of opportunities, and it's going to be interesting.
No doubt. And that's the thing you need, guys, is we definitely need to have, it would be nice to go ahead and literally take these guys out early. Don't give them any hope, and, go ahead and win 3 games and be done with it. It's not that easy, I know, but I think that this team has a lot of potential with talking about the Pirates. By the way, their record is 13-8. And just like John White, thank you, John. They beat the Florida Gators at the first game of the Friday night game of the 3-game series.
Yeah, and then they got rolled the next two, and Florida didn't have their coach either for that
They split, and they also split
he
against
was
Cincinnati
suspended.
as well. They split
Yeah,
against
he was.
Cincinnati as well.
Cincinnati's a great team. Coach, they have a player that's just killing it behind the plate. But
Sweat Middle Tennessee lost 2-17 to number 6 Auburn a couple of days ago.
Yeah, that's obviously not good. But Auburn is very good, and the SEC is very good. So the best, obviously, year after year after year, they're the best conference in college baseball. So no slouch, no surprise.
Yeah, they're not going to be intimidated. First of all, they've been to the jungle before, but probably not these players haven't. Most of them, anyhow. But yeah, if they've been to Gainesville and they've been to Auburn, yeah,
they're not
ready.
Going to be intimidated at all.
No, they won't.
But I wouldn't go in there and take these guys lightly either. So we got to come in. We got to play our style of baseball and just win. Just take care of business. That's all it takes.
You need to set the tone tomorrow night and get the win, and then you go from there. Because let's just hypothetically, let's say we do sweep. And what if we do? What is that? 9 out of 10, something like that. So I mean, this team really could be rolling if we do get the sweep, or just taking the series. Think about it, guys. This team is starting to hit its stride. I really believe that.
And I'm gonna steal a quote from the great Rabbit Fulgham: "Do the simple things well." Key to the weekend. Let's got to do the simple things well. Let's pound the strike zone. Let's hit the ball. Let's catch the ball. Let's just do the simple things well. And if I really believe if we do the simple things well this weekend, we'll get that sweep. But if we don't take care of the simple things well, then we could be in for a long weekend.
Let's hope a good crowd for Friday night too, because game one, you can't sweep if you don't win game one. First of all, Ethan is. I feel like this is a very, very important game for him. I'm going to say that I fully expect him to return to form, but until he does that, you just don't know. So Friday is a very important game for Ethan, very important game for us. And I hope that, last Friday, there just was a terrible crowd. It wasn't good at all. So this is conference play. It's, UAB. I'm just hoping that the Jungles is packed this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, that's, nobody's expecting people to be at every single game, but at the same time, we need tons and tons and tons of fans, because when we're not there and we're not loud and we're not cheering loud and all that, then that, I don't care what anybody says, that makes a huge difference. That makes a huge difference when the Jungle's rocking, when you have first and third base sides rocking. I mean, it is really what I've always loved about being a Pirate baseball fan is how loud baseball, as fans, how loud they are. You would think you'd share a football or basketball game.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, we've all been in a lot of places and a lot of different sporting events, a lot of different atmospheres. But when Clark LeClaire is rocking and rolling, and it's one of the best sports atmospheres to me in the country, not just baseball.
Oh, I agree with that too. And also Friday night, UAB's their team ERA, like I said, is not good. It's 6.9, but they do have a Friday night guy that. I mean, his ERA is not fantastic. It's 5.00, but last Friday, he went the distance. They run ruled Belmont. They hit 5 home runs. They run ruled Belmont, and he went 7 innings, allowed 3 earned runs, 8 strikeouts. So he's a decent pitcher. We're going to have a challenge. So let's just, we got to start it out good. Like Alan said, a sweep is what we want. Well, got to win Friday.
Yeah, if you can get that win tomorrow night, then let's just be honest. Their Saturday and Sunday guys are not terribly impressive.
No, not at all.
And that doesn't mean they can't beat us, but they have not been to this point. Very impressive once you get past Friday.
And it'll be interesting to see how our Sunday is handled pitching wise. I'm looking forward to that.
Depth. Thank God for depth. We talk about it a lot, talk about it all the time, but it's really it's not a cliche, guys. It's a fact. The depth that we have, on the mound is paying dividends now that we've have some injuries and things like that. I mean, if we didn't, it's a luxury for sure.
Absolutely,
it's a luxury. But I hope we have a really, really good crowd. All three games, especially tomorrow. Tomorrow's game, I believe, is 5 o'clock. Is that correct?
I think it's 6. I hope.
It's 6. I thought
I hope so.
I thought I saw 5 p.m.
Oh no, because I'm still in Virginia and I gotta go to work for a few hours in the morning. If it's at 5,
on the UAB
I'm in trouble.
side, on the UAB side, it's showing 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's because they're Central Time.
Okay, that's right. That's right. You are correct. I did not take the time zone change into consideration. Correct. Good call, JR. I wasn't even thinking about Birmingham, Alabama
put a little,
behind us. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Fabulous. Wonderful. Lovely. See, that's why you're the stat guy, man. I wouldn't have, Birmingham, Alabama. I don't think of Birmingham, Alabama as being an hour behind us. But
I'll tell you real quick. I'll tell you a very short story of how I know that to be the truth. Is that back in the day, my friend was getting married just west of Birmingham, and he had a rehearsal dinner. We got a late start. We had to pick somebody up in Columbia, South Carolina. Make a long story short, we were never going to make it. I was driving as fast as I could, but we just weren't going to make it. And then we passed the sign that said entering the Central Time Zone, and we were like, we just got another hour. We're good.
We're going to
make it on time. We did make it on time, and so I know now that Birmingham is the Central Time Zone.
Yeah, and hopefully we have a good crowd because, as you know, the days are getting longer.
They are.
We're starting to see sunset now. Close to 7 o'clock for us. And that's a good thing. But you're right, man. I can't believe I didn't take the time change into consideration. So my bad. Did we lose Dave?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm busy. I'm watching college basketball. I'm not going to lie.
Well,
but I'm doing my best to be in tune with the show.
You are multitasking.
Yeah, I don't have the volume on, obviously, but
yeah, I don't blame you, man. I'm watching as well. I got one of the games on behind me here.
Okay, but Kennesaw State is holding Gonzaga to 2 points after 5 minutes and 44 seconds. Gonzaga scored 2 points against Kennesaw State.
Hey, Nashville, what happened to the Carolina game? Did I see somebody Carolina lose today? Or?
My goodness!
They lost a 19-point lead in the second half.
15 minutes to go, Justin. They were up 19, and then they were up with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left. They were down 14, and they just collapsed because VCU couldn't do anything right.
High Point beat somebody, I think, today.
It beat Wisconsin.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
That was a top 50 all-time upset.
Oh, wow.
Point spread wise.
Wow.
That was in the top 50.
Yeah, and Siena for a half gave Duke all they wanted.
Hey, March.
Yeah, you know what? Duke was down 13 in the second half. That's the biggest deficit they had all season. They'd never been down by 13 points before.
Yep. My brackets were looking great until tonight, and now tonight I always look good the first day, first session, day session. I do great. Then the night session comes, it falls apart, man. Falls apart every year.
Yeah.
South Florida lost day as well.
Yeah, but they had a nice comeback though.
Yeah, they were down big against Louisville. Came back and actually made it they lost by 4, I believe, or they actually got it
4.
around
4.
3 or 4 at one point.
And while we're on the subject of the NCAA tournament, I don't know how many people out there watched Arkansas today against Hawaii, but there were 3 dunks by Arkansas in that game that would have, each one of them would have won like an NBA dunking contest. They were sick. They were just you wouldn't even think they were possible. That's how athletic they were. Yeah. So Arkansas now is going to be playing High Point, and that's that is just, you got to watch that game. I think High Point's in big trouble.
Yep, if High Point's making threes, they'll stay with Arkansas for a while, but if not, it could get ugly quickly.
Yeah, they shot 43s today, by the way. High Point did, and that's not really something they normally do, but I guess that's a sign of a good coach. And I will admit, on our last show, I said that Wisconsin was a bad matchup for High Point, because I really believed that. I had no idea High Point was going to jack up 43s, and Wisconsin was going to, let that happen. So
you live by the 3, you die by the 3, and that's the best. High Point's a great example of that for sure.
Yep.
Well,
absolutely.
High Point got their first win ever in the tournament history. So congratulations to them. And guys, Johnny has a stat. Did you research that stat, by the way, Johnny?
I did, and I there's no way, because there's just no way to confirm it yet. But I just feel like I was listening to Sirius XM today, and it was a college basketball show, and they were doing live, look-ins, and they went to the High Point Wisconsin game, and it wasn't even over yet, but High Point was making, they just made like 3 threes in a row, and one of the guys said, well, that's what you get when you spend between $4 and $5 million acquiring, players for your roster. And he said, and that's what High Point had to spend. And I was like, that can't be right. And I really can't find anything, but I have found like some innuendos that they are extremely well funded. They had multiple $10 million gifts. And yet they don't have a football team, so it goes to basketball primarily. Now baseball is not terrible either. Baseball is doing well for them, but basketball is what they want to. That's how they want to build their identity, because they realize, days like today, the whole world's looking at High Point University. So I believe they're spending $4 to $5 million on their roster,
and they've got beautiful facilities.
Their president,
they got nice facilities. Yep,
has put a lot of money in athletics.
Yeah, it's $180 million basketball facility, and it's named after him, which you never see that in any university. You never see like a facility named after the current president. But you know what? He deserves it, and because he's flipping the switch on that and making them very relevant. So it's interesting.
Well, we just got to get we talked about it before. We've got to get basketball healthy. And the way to do that is we've got to put funds there. We can't just say we're spending more. Thank you for spending more. East Carolina deserves to be number 1 in the conference, in the American. Let's shoot for number 1 in the conference for the American, for spending, because Memphis is not the Memphis that we know, and it's not your daddy or granddaddy's Memphis. Back then it was Memphis State, remember? I mean, it's not that anymore. And for me, I would much rather go for a outrageous goal than, on the one hand, we say we don't have money. It's funny. We don't have money. But then on the same breath, we're talking about how much money we've raised. It makes no sense whatsoever. When I was at the basketball game last night, I was like, at the Harlem Globetrotters, more like a show, I guess. I was thinking, man, we should have a lot of people here. We should have a lot of people here in the stands, period. And we need to market our Williams Arena, have more concerts, more events. That's something that's really cool that we have every single year. I had people that live in Greenville. They didn't even know the Globetrotters were in town last night. Didn't know it.
I don't know what they did for marketing for the Globetrotters. I know that I didn't hear any radio. Now I'm not saying they didn't run radio ads or TV ads or whatever, but I didn't see any. But they could have done that. But you need to go to schools when the Globetrotters are coming to town. You need to go to the elementary schools and the middle schools, and even the high schools, and say, hey, the Globetrotters are coming. If you'll bring a busload of kids, we'll give you a discount or whatever.
Boys and Girls Club, any kind of civic groups, church groups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. But anyway, we've talked about that ad nauseum. But anytime the Globetrotters are in town, it's fun. It's fun. It's great family entertainment. And if you haven't seen the Globetrotters in a while, you're missing out because it's really fun.
And they had for the upper bowl was only $30. That is a great price for the Harlem Globetrotters for this day and age.
And you're not going to get any paper thrown on you if you're in the upper bowl. There's no chance of that happening.
Or water thrown on you.
No water.
Popcorn.
No popcorn. But yeah, the Globetrotters, when they come to town, that should be a big deal because it is a big deal.
Yeah, 100 years. They've made it 100 years.
That's fantastic.
What was the score, Dave? How much did they beat the Washington Generals by?
About like 2 points. Not many. 2 points, maybe. I don't think I kept. It was 100 and.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I tell you one thing. Both teams have players that can shoot, and they are incredible talents, and I love it. I've loved it. I saw the Globetrotters when I was living in Durham, probably when I was 10, 11 years old, and Curly, Neal, Meadowlark Lemon, all those guys. And, they had the cartoon. They were on Scooby-Doo, cartoon, a big deal. And
they were on Gilligan's Island, which is even better.
Oh, that's right.
Harlem Globetrotters had to escape from Gilligan's Island.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, I love the Globetrotters because you watch the kids' faces, and the kids are having a good time, and the parents are having a good time. It's good stuff, man.
Thank you, John White. I did not know Bob Gibson was a Globetrotter. Wow,
I didn't either.
No, Bob Gibson was a hell of an athlete, though.
Yeah, he was
a hell of an athlete. He really was.
1964 World Series champion for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And probably the most intimidating pitcher maybe ever. You can make an argument for a couple others, but Bob Gibson's on that list. My top three of guys. If I was a hitter, I would not want to face Bob Gibson because he was relentless and locked in. Okay,
I'll give you. All right, let's do this real quick, and then we'll talk more Pirate baseball. I'm gonna give you two others. I'm gonna throw you. I'll give you. I'll definitely give you Bob Gibson. My left-hander, I'm gonna go Sandy Koufax. And as far as throwing, like just hard throwing, Nolan Ryan.
Yeah. You could throw Randy Johnson for me in that list as well. Just a big, tall, intimidating guy.
It vaporizes seagulls.
Yeah, when Goose Gossage was in his prime, I think he was on that list as well. Who's that, Justin?
For the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I'll take Nolan Ryan every time.
Yeah, and you don't want to mess with Nolan either. Don't charge them out when Nolan's out there, or you'll get put in a headlock and you get your face peppered.
Yeah, was that Robin Ventura, right?
Yeah, yep. Robin Ventura made that mistake, and I bet you about 30 seconds into that, he's like, "What have I done? What have I done?"
So, Dave, I'm looking at the Globetrotters right now. Sweet Lou Dunbar is one of their coaches. I remember when he played for them, and then they got some good names: the Rim Reaper, Treble Trimble, Dynamite Key, Springs Wallace, Cash Price.
Right.
Oh man, they looks like they have like 4 or 5 females on the team.
They do. I think that's cool because my daughter was interested in the fact they had, a female so she could relate. They had a female DJ, but the Generals had a female as well that could shoot. She could shoot threes like nobody's business. And I like the 4-point shot. I was like, man, we should bring that to.
So did your kids have a good time, Dave?
They did. It was their birthday present. So one of their birthday presents. So their birthdays are tomorrow, by the way. Happy birthday, Alex. Will be 13 tomorrow, a teenager. Can you believe that?
Wow.
And Sweet Mackenzie, sweet baby girl, will be 12 on Tuesday.
That's incredible. I know you're proud. You should be proud.
I am definitely, and just happy to be their dad. It's the hardest job you'll ever love. It's really tough, but I'm really proud of them, and they had a great time. The problem is when we're in Greenville and you don't get out to 9 something, it didn't get out too late, but you have to drive home, and then you have to get them baths and get them to bed, and then trying to get them up this morning. But I told someone earlier today, I said, if that's the only thing, I think I told Johnny earlier, I said, if that's the only thing that they get in trouble for or they give me a hard time about, especially in their teenage years, then we're doing all right.
Yeah, if 13 and 12 still want to go with Dad to see the Harlem Globetrotters, you're doing all right. You're doing all right.
You're embarrassing me, Dad. You're embarrassing me.
You're doing okay, man. I treasure every moment, savor every moment, because you'll blink and there'll be 20. You'll blink again, there'll be 26, etc. So just savor every second of it, man.
And Justin, you have 2 girls. How old are they?
6 and 8. 6 and 8. So yeah,
wow.
Growing up fast.
Wow.
Both of them girls. They are. You can already tell they're girls. They're gonna be trouble.
They're going. I mean, when their dad's nickname is Wildfire,
they ain't got no choice, right?
what can you expect?
6 and 8. Holy moly, man!
And they're both girls, so that's double trouble.
Yeah, girl dad.
Age, man.
Yeah, Wildfire's the cool dad. Are you the cool dad?
That I am. I'll let anything go. That's why some of these past couple weeks I have not been able to get on because I let them stay up too late. Don't tell my other half that, but
yeah, well, in my family, my mother was the disciplinarian.
Oh yeah, mine was too.
Yeah, my dad just now I knew if my dad gave me that look, I knew I better straighten up and do it pretty quick. But my mom would wear my rear end out,
The problem was my dad was 6'4", my mom was like 5'6", so if she could ever catch me, it was
I made the mistake of telling her one time that it didn't hurt when she was spanking me.
Oh yeah.
That was probably not the smartest thing I've ever done.
Well, back in my day, if you got in trouble from school, my dad used to take me home, shut the garage door, wear my rear end out, send me back to school, dare me to cry. Nowadays, you do that, you're gonna be in big trouble. But I mean, it was just a different time back then too. So
yeah. Well,
are the statute of limitations on that? Could Tim Butts?
I hope so. But you see my dad there. You know how he is, man. Yeah. I'm just telling you.
I like him a lot. He played for Pat Dye, so
back in 1970s. Yep. One of Pat Dye's first recruits, East Carolina. Tight end. Was a tight end. Tore his knee up into his career.
Any of you guys ever get a spanking at school?
Yes.
I did.
Yep.
Back when I was in school, I'm a little bit younger than you guys, but they actually had permission forms that you can get the corporal punishment.
Did you ever get in trouble, Justin?
Oh, no comment on that, Dave. No comment on Dave. But I'll tell you one thing. Speaking of Rabbit Fulton, if it weren't for Rabbit Fulton, I'd have probably been locked up today. That man right there kept me out of a lot of trouble.
What do you?
John, did you ever get in trouble in school?
Oh yeah, of course, all the time.
I know. How about Johnny? Did Johnny ever?
Yeah, I got whacked for sure.
I got a paddling from the gym teacher, man, and they take in front of. I got in a fight, and got a paddling for getting in a fight when I was in like 6th grade.
And
if you did that to a kid today, there'd be a lawsuit before you got home.
Hey, you wonder why some of these kids are the way they are today.
Yep, I mean that's just because you knew if you got paddled in school, what you got when you got home was going to be 5 times worse than that. So.
Exactly, and like I said, I've been a part of the school system before, and like I said, that's part of the problem now in schools, and some of these teachers are facing. Kids, parents didn't care when they were in school, and now they don't care about their kids, and it's a shame. It's a shame.
Well,
so Pirate baseball, 3-game series against UAB tomorrow at 6 o'clock daylight savings time in Greenville, North Carolina. Thank you, Johnny. We need the weather is going to be great. It's going to be in the upper 60s around first pitch tomorrow, upper 70s on Saturday and Sunday, pushing 80 by Sunday afternoon. No excuse not to get out there and enjoy some Pirate baseball.
Like I said, if you ain't used your tickets, give them to somebody. Put some butts in the seats, guys.
Exactly. I have a colleague, and I'll be there like Alan. I'll be there at the game, and so when I found out she was an East Carolina fan, she and her husband are taking her husband's, I think, sister and husband. But anyway, they're going there and having a good time tomorrow night, double date. And when you have great nurses who do a great job, then, I'm a stickler for that because my mom and sister are nurses. So nurses play a special part in my life, but most definitely. And, if you know a member of the military, if you know civil servants, maybe a police officer, firefighter, whatever the case may be, remember EMS, give them the tickets, for a job well done because they work very, very, very hard. I always, since I was a little boy, I've always admired and respected our civil servants and our military. My grandfather fought in World War II in the Japan theater. So that's where it began, my patriotism, my love for my country. I don't know if he would like the fact I'm a politician, but no, I'm kidding. But he died. He fought for the right for us to have this show on right now. So love our military very, very much. And if you're anybody that wears a uniform, we salute you. And this is your home for Pirate Sports for sure. Come on and join us anytime. Guys, as far as the tournament, we talked about that. A lot of craziness. Just want to get your thoughts on Carolina losing. Was listening on the way home from my event. I was listening, and I know that I was double checking with you guys before I came on, but they made it like that Hubert Davis was already fired from North Carolina.
Talking about meltdown on the message boards. I can only imagine their message boards tonight.
Yeah, you can imagine the Carolina crazies are losing their minds right now, and I mean it's tough, man. But this has been kind of an MO of the Carolina basketball team this year. They've lost several big leads, and they were able to win some of those games and hang on. But 3 or 4 times, in the regular season, they lost big leads. They had a 25 or 26 point lead against Syracuse, and Syracuse cut it down to, I think, 5 at one time. So this is something Carolina's had a problem with, several times this year. And boy, did it rear its ugly head at the absolute worst time for the Tar Heels tonight.
Yeah, I haven't seen him play.
Hubert Davis was, the opposing coach was Phil Martelli Jr. This is only his 3rd season as a head coach. He was at Bryant the previous 2 years. Now he's at VCU. And from what I could see, coaching decisions towards the end of that game played a part. And because the players weren't getting it done. And Martelli made some adjustments Hubert, he just can't be held in much favor in Tar Heel Nation right now.
No, and Hubert Davis is a class act. He's a good basketball coach, but just I'm not a Carolina fan by any means, but my heart does hurt for Hubert Davis because he coaches hard. He loves his school. He's an alum, and I hate to see this happen to him. And by no means am I a Carolina fan, but it's got to be just devastating for Hubert to have this happen.
I root for him because he's a Lake Braddock Bruin. He went to Lake Braddock High School, which is we played them every year, and I didn't know him personally. I've never spoke to him or anything, but I've been to plenty of his games in high school, and I do kind of root for him. So
I would be shocked if something happens I think he'll be back next year. I don't think
I do too.
I don't think his job's on the line or anything like that.
And Caleb Wilson not being available. I mean, a lot of people were saying VCU was going to win that game anyhow. And the way that UNC came out and took command without Caleb Wilson showed you that it wasn't a case that they didn't want to be there, because it was hopeless without Caleb Wilson. They came out and played with fire. So I think he'll come back too. And it would be the right move.
Yeah, Carolina's missing what a lot of teams are missing this year as a point guard that can sit when things start to go south a little bit, that can settle them down. That team to me did not have a defined leader after they lost Caleb Wilson. They've still got a lot of talent, and I picked them to go to the Sweet 16. So there goes my bracket. But they just didn't. They just don't have a leader, somebody that can say, "Okay, guys, time to settle down and make a play when they need it." And VCU had come in and had won 13 or 14 in a row, something like that.
Yeah. Here's the problem. The problem is he's coaching at North Carolina, and I don't have. And let me just say, I agree with you guys. I know for a fact I have a close friend who went to Duke, who, when Hubert Davis was up in D.C., they went to the same church, whatever. And Hubert is a very nice guy, class act, just like Alan said. He loves UNC. So from those of us that are non-UNC people, you can understand why he was picked as the head coach. You can understand why you would stick with him. But then, having said all that, I think the problem that Carolina fans have is they are upset that Duke is winning a lot right now, and they're not as far as getting the recruits. They think, this is not my opinion, this is what I hear Carolina fans say, we're not getting the recruits that Duke is. Duke is winning way more than we are. John Shire has won 3 out of 4 tournaments in the ACC. He's won back-to-back champs in the ACC. When you look at the NBA players, who he's recruiting, there's no question Caleb Wilson's a great player. The problem is there's not enough Caleb Wilsons on the team, and I don't want anything to happen to him, but I wouldn't be surprised. I could see it. I can argue it. I'll say it like this. I can make an argument for both sides. I think the administration will keep him, but the fan base does not want him to be coach because he's lost 2 years in a row. There was 3 years ago they didn't even make the tournament for Carolina. He did take them to the championship game in 22. But as far as the Carolina way, I mean, the expectations are so high that when you lose in the first round a couple times and you don't even make the tournament a few years ago. When you look at the resume, I think this is, by the way, I think the fact that he is with Carolina, as far as amount of, Josh is saying that he's going to keep his job. Penny Hardaway kept his job. True. I see where you're going there, but Carolina has expectations of, and so does Memphis, but Memphis does. I'll just say it like this: Carolina always has a chance to win a national championship, whether they do or not. They're just in that realm of things. So we'll see how it all plays out. This is not the Carolina objective.
No, but let's play the what if game real quick. Let's say Carolina fires Hubert Davis. If you're Carolina, who do you bring in? Who's on your short list to take Hubert Davis's place if that were to happen?
That was you brought up my next point.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't
that signature guy's not out there.
Right. Right. Do you throw a bucket full of money at a currently successful head coach at a power program and bring him to Chapel Hill? Do you find a young up and coming coach and whatever? And again, it's the Carolina way. You know, they went just think about when Bill Guthridge left and Matt Doherty came in. What a disaster that was.
Yeah, we've had Matt on the show.
And I love Matt, but it didn't work at Chapel Hill. He tried to do things differently and make changes, and it just did. That's fine if you're winning, but he wasn't winning. And they brought Roy in, and Roy brought him back to prominence for a few years, and now Hubert is there. But there's nobody I can think of right now off the top of my head that if Hubert Davis is let go in Chapel Hill, and again, that's just hypothetically, who automatically I don't have a name that I go, that's the guy you look at.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too, guys, and I know football and basketball are completely different at UNC as far as people loving football versus basketball. The expectations for basketball are way high, and football, it's mediocre. But you bring in Belichick. I got what I'm going with this. You bring an outsider in that has a name, and they may win a bowl. I mean, they may go to a bowl game. They may win a bowl game. But as far as that translating, 6 Super Bowls translating to winning at a high level in North Carolina, the same thing is when you were talking about a boatload of cash, you're made the point I was going to make of who you're going to bring in,
Yeah, you think of it this way with Belichick. Some people think any publicity is good publicity. And people have talked more about Carolina football over the last year, 14 months or whatever, since Belichick came in, than they probably have over the last 5 years. So even though it didn't go that well on the field last year, Carolina football is top of mind for a lot of people now in college football just because of Belichick. So, you kind of wonder in today's, social media and the way things go, are they looking for that as much as they are winning football games?
That and his girlfriend being way younger. We've heard about that ad nauseum.
Yeah, well, more power to him, Jack. I mean, I'm just saying, hey, well, whatever, man. She turned out to be a little bit. She turned out to be a little bit of a nut job, but well, you got to give it to him. Got to give it to him.
Yeah, he's got it going on.
And we wouldn't even be having this conversation about Hubert Davis. I don't know if y'all watched the game, but VCU had a sophomore guard, Terrence Hill, didn't even start. He had 34 points, 13 for 23 field goals, 7 of 10 from 3-point range, and he led the team in assists.
Wow.
So, I mean, if it wasn't for that superhuman effort by Terrence Hill Jr., we're not even talking about Hubert Davis right now.
But that's one of the great stories in the tournament. We have something like this every year where a kid steps up, comes out of nowhere, and has the game of his life in the tournament, and he's a hero forever.
Yeah. By the way, one of the things I was going to talk about, guys, is I know that Pirate football, spring football started this week, but it made me think about with March Madness going on. Can you imagine if we had a March Madness-like tournament with football? It can be done. And I just wish that I wish the football powers that be would see how much potential they're missing on, God forbid, I know there are Alabama fans out there. If East Carolina beats an Alabama in the playoff, right? it sucks for Alabama fans, but that's a great story for East Carolina. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it would happen, but if something like that did happen in a real playoff, thankfully it's better than what it was. And especially when sports writers were picking the national champion, that was a joke. And the PCS and all that. But for me, when I see this tournament every year, it makes me mad because all the other sports get it right except for football.
Yeah, there's
a work in progress.
There's some logistical challenges with bringing in 68 football teams into a tournament versus basketball, just from a numbers standpoint.
I'm not. I'm not saying the same amount of teams. I'm just talking about the excitement of every for me, I would love to see every champion be in there. And then the at-large, you can put it up to, I mean, if you want to put it up to 24 teams, I'm not saying 68. That's that's absurd. I'm not saying that. But the excitement of this tournament is a lot of fun, unless your team gets upset, like North Carolina losing. I know they were a 6th seed, but still, Duke almost lost today. It's like when you have like a blue blood lose to a team they shouldn't lose to, and on paper, then that's kind of it. To me, that's what makes March Madness. That's why it's called March Madness.
And with everything going on off the court, with all the BS that goes on in college athletics off the court, the NCAA tournament, what happens on the court is still one of the best things we got going. I mean, the ratings are through the roof. The games are great. The athletes are great. So, if we can ever work out the off the court issues and get that under control, the actual on the court happenings are perfect right now for college basketball.
You're right, Johnny. When you were talking about earlier about High Point, about potentially, we don't know if it's true, but he heard a radio show earlier, if you're just joining us, about High Point getting, if that is true, I'll put a big if, $5 million. What do you think? I know we've talked about it a lot. What do you think East Carolina basketball, let's say that Alan Vick, you're the billionaire, and I'm going to let you play billionaire right now. Doesn't it feel good to be a billionaire now, Alan?
Well, I know you've given away my secret now, Dave. Thanks.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. I was supposed to not talk about that. We had a rule in his contract, in Alan's contract, when he signed a couple months ago, and he said, listen, I just became a billionaire. I don't want everybody to know it. I've always been Alan Vick. Everybody loves me, but now people are going to treat me differently because I'm a billionaire now.
Right. I'm heir to the vapor rub fortune, and nobody knew that but me and you.
I never know what you're going to say. That's great. That's great stuff.
Well, Stevie won Mega Millions, and we don't treat him any differently. He's the same old Stevie.
Yeah, he's still commissioner in Lasker.
Yeah.
Great
it
state.
Hadn't changed him one bit.
Not at all. He's still Stevie. We love Stevie.
Except for that pet tiger he has on the gold leash. Other than that.
I know. How can he? But anyway, so for you, Alan, as far as basketball is concerned, you're the billionaire, and you say, listen, East Carolina is my school, and I've got a lot of money. How much money would you spend on basketball? Like, I'm not talking about a percentage. Is there like like we heard that $5 million on NIL for High Point, and they win a tournament win. How much would you spend to get the talent in we need to make it happen?
If I had an unlimited amount of money and money was no issue, somewhere in the $10 to $12 million range.
That's definitely a good point, because I know before NIL, Duke was spending the most on basketball at $20 million. That was just operationally. I'm not talking about NIL stuff. High Point is a private school. And again, I'm not knocking High Point. I'm happy for them because they make, I'm a basketball guy, and they make basketball a priority. So,
and they make other teams, step up their game.
Yeah. And so for us, instead of being jealous about it or bitter about it, I'm looking at it like, hey, if High Point can do it, East Carolina that's the thing. We are so amazing. We've just got to do a better job with the emphasis on basketball.
Dave, you know what their formula is, though, at High Point is just luxurious everything. Restaurants, hotels, facilities, everything is like, I think it's gated, is it not, Alan? I think the university is gated.
I
don't think
so.
you can't just drive into High Point.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they want, okay, so we might not have as much money as Kansas or whatever, but we have a lot of money. And so we're going to spend the money on acquiring talent and making this campus and university as appealing as possible. Like you would want to come here. So I guess East Carolina, we would have to have a similar game plan. And I just don't know that I don't know that we have the funding to do that. So Dave, I looked up, I tried to find out if they did spend $4 to $5 million on their roster, and I used AI, and it came back and told me that we can't confirm that, but we can confirm several reports, and it gave sources of multiple $10 million gifts recently, dedicated to the athletics department. And again, they don't have football, so athletics is primarily basketball, maybe a little bit of baseball. So multiple $10 million gifts would mean more than two, I would think.
And no matter how much money you get, you have to spend it wisely. You just can't get thrown $20 million and then not know what to do with it. So somebody at High Point is smart enough to know kind of how you do it. I mean, spending, it sounds easy to spend $10 million, but it's not easy. It's complicated. I'm sure it's very complicated, but somebody's getting it right.
Yeah, they definitely got it right.
Somebody's getting it right.
So would you spend like $1 million a player?
Well, I don't know. It just depends on. I mean, if the player's worth that much money, or if he performs, absolutely. I mean, but I'm not going to give my 8th or 9th player on the bench,
right,
$1 million or whatever. But it's based on worth and performance.
Well, let's say Farmville Central has a 5-star guy. Do you give him $1 million to come to East Carolina versus they're probably not going to pay him that much at Duke or Carolina?
If you got it, but just really a high school kid. This sounds ludicrous to say, even talk about, but high school kid, maybe 300,000. I mean that, but how do you quantify that? I mean,
yeah.
but you definitely, if you could bring a good, solid high school kid in here with potential. The deal is you're going to pay these kids all this money. You have to figure out a way to stop them from transferring every year and being at 4 different schools in 4 years.
That's ridiculous.
That's if I'm going to pay a kid that kind of money, I've got to have some kind of legal way to say, hey, you got to stay with me at least a couple of years.
I think that the best thing that could happen to college basketball, as crazy as it may sound, is for the one and dones to be, if you're good, here's my feeling. If you're good enough to go to the NBA. Don't come here 1 year to college basketball and leave us. That's number one. I agree with you wholeheartedly, Alan. They need to sign contracts. If I'm paying $1 million or a few $100,000 or whatever, you need to say 2 or 3. I would put a 3-year rule. We're going to do that and evaluate it after every year. And you can skip your senior year because ultimately we're here to educate people. I know that's not what's going on right now, but you make a great point, Alan. If we've talked about this before, if you are at 4 different schools, what school are you going to be the most loyal to? Are you going to have a jersey that has 4 patches on there of every school you've been
it's going to be a pro model. You're going to wind up signing a college kid to a 3-year, $1.5 million deal, and he should have to honor whatever the length of that contract is.
Exactly. Josh says,
just like any other sport.
Yeah, because if I'm
so if he doesn't perform, you fire him.
If he does, I mean, there's got to be clauses in there. If he doesn't perform up to standard, then there's got to be an out clause of some sort.
Right, exactly.
There.
Thank you, John White. High Point receives $20 million from alum and community leader Doug Witcher in 2024, and that's what I'm talking about. Is and that's another thing. By the way, go ahead, Johnny.
No. Go ahead, Dave. I'll wait till you're done.
I was just going to make a quick point. I would like to see. I know we have the Pirates Unite, and I want to give a shout out to Ryan Robinson, John Gilbert, everybody in the Pirate Club. They've raised a ton of money because we are the Pirates, right? So that mentality, stay with that. The point I was going to make is in 2032, it's going to be our 100th anniversary of athletics. We started athletics in 1932. It's going to be 100 years. Can we have some kind of initiative? We want to raise $100 million for the 100 years. I mean, something like, I know that's bold. I know, and let me just say this for the folks at the Pirate Club, they work their tails off. It is not easy. It is very, 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 very hard to raise money. So I don't want to sound like that it's easy. It is not. But let's have some creativity for the Pirate Club with our 100-year anniversary coming up in 2032. The 2032 camp, I don't know whatever you want to call it, but let's have that where we have this huge initiative. Because if we can raise 65 million, can't we raise 100?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard the interview with Mike Schwartz with Patrick on 94.3 The Game a few days ago, but hey, he is well aware of what what he's got to do, and so I mean, there's no doubt Mike's been given. I don't know if they've put a number on it or whatever, but he's been given an ultimatum. Man, you got to get this thing turned around, and you got to do it this coming year, and that's it. And I think he understands that this is a pivotal, super important year coming up for Pirate basketball. This could, move the needle one way or the other for a long time to come, depending upon how the upcoming season goes. This is a big turning point for Pirate basketball coming up.
And by the way, Johnny talked about this before, and he's checking with the Davidson guy. But for me personally, I love your idea, Johnny. I was looking around like this last night. And tell your idea again for what right now.
Well, first of all, I was just going to say, I think patience, man, I feel I got to be delicate with the way I phrase this, but let's just put it out there bluntly. We were nowhere near the basketball team that Charlotte was this year, and they beat us, and they fired their coach. So, I mean, it's got to be, for me, it's got to be a spectacular turnaround next year. Not just, it's got to be like just something that's going to, it can't just be, okay, we're better. No, I'm not going for that. But to answer your question, Dave, Davidson University, they have a deal where if you choose, you can buy a $50 ticket, and you're not guaranteed to have a seat for any game for basketball. But if it's not sold out, and they don't sell out many games, if any, you sit, at the best available seat you can find. There's an upper level area that you start the game at, watching the game there. And then if there's seats that are not occupied, I don't know if it's after the first quarter, there's no quarters, after the first 10 minutes, first 5 minutes, maybe. I don't know. It's certainly before halftime. You have the opportunity with your $50 ticket to sit anywhere you want where there's nobody sitting. So that's their plan.
And I tell you why I like that, because Alan, as well as I do, this is the way you pitch it. Okay. How many of you like paying $3.50 a gallon for gas? I know I don't. How many of you like paying grocery prices high? We get it. At East Carolina, we get that you're working hard for your money. You're getting less right now for it. Guess what? We're offering for you a $50 ticket, season ticket. And guess what? For a family of 4, that's only $200. How many people right now would take? I don't know how many games that is off the top of my head. Is it 16 games? I think
around
that. Yeah, let's say it's 16 games, and $50 into 16 tells you that you can get a lot of entertainment, right? For that $50, you get a lot of value there. We put butts in seats. We sell a whole bunch of merchandise. We sell a whole bunch of concessions. The fact that you can get that place loud probably gives you what, Johnny, guys, 3 or 4 wins that you probably wouldn't have gotten. I mean, not a lot, but it definitely helps. And last
3 or 4 is a tremendous amount. So even if it's 1 or 2,
right,
that's a lot, in my opinion.
But I think that you're onto something there, because if you look at the inventory, and I'm not making fun of us by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, look who's here. Better late than never. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kyle from LaGrange Barber. What's up, dude?
Better late than never, quite literally. Holy crap. It's the Tonight Show with Dave Richmond and the gang.
Yeah. We were
Hey-o.
well, Johnny's idea from David.
Oh, hell, I missed the opportunity. It's the late night with Johnny Robertson there.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about, they had the $50 ticket at Davidson. It's like a general admission ticket, and you can sit anywhere you want to. If it's a sold out game, obviously you can't. But
for basketball.
For basketball, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think they don't have a huge fan base despite having a great basketball program.
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right. They don't sell out. Never.
Neither does East Carolina. Look, I just was thinking about the standards we seem to have. You know, you look at Wilmington is in the NIT right now, hosting an NIT game at home this weekend. You know, there's no reason we can't do that in basketball. Our standards in basketball are so pathetic. I mean, and I think we spend enough. I don't even think it's a spending issue to get to the level to make the NIT. And then you look at women's basketball, and we didn't get invited to the NCAA. And then the WBIT is actually the number 2 tournament for basketball, the Women's Basketball Invitational Tournament, which is owned by the NCAA. And apparently we didn't get invited to that. But we could have gone to the WNIT, and we didn't want to pay for it. I guess we didn't see the value. You know, and I don't know the ins and outs of that. I haven't talked to John Gilbert about it.
We actually did turn down an invitation.
Yeah, to the WNIT, yeah.
Yeah, remember I mentioned that, just in passing the other night. I didn't know that, for sure. I just thought that might have been a possibility.
Oh, yeah, we definitely did. If you look who's in the WNIT, just common sense would tell you.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's but it's a pay-for-play kind of thing with that, but it creates excitement. It did for men's basketball years ago. I would challenge John Gilbert, and again, I don't know what the ins and outs were. I wasn't in the room. But I would challenge John Gilbert to look back on the CIT run that East Carolina had in basketball, men's basketball, and you would say from the outside looking in, it's not worth the money. Well, it sure was for the men's basketball program. And if we would have hosted a WNIT game and got on a run, you would have seen that place starting to fill up. And the problem is, come March, there's nothing to follow. You're completely left out of the excitement. And the ladies had a good enough season, and maybe the girls didn't want to play in the damn thing. And maybe that's the case.
22-10.
I mean, it's just a shame we're not seeing their season continue. And I know, we didn't get the NCAA invite. Apparently, we didn't get the WBIT invite, but there was the opportunity for the WNIT, and I'd love to know why exactly the thoughts behind that were. But we got to set higher standards, and in baseball, we do have a high standard, and we're very disappointed that we seem to be, an average to above average baseball team at this point. It's a huge series this weekend. I guess, y'all have talked about it, I'm sure. But UAB is what is their record, I guess?
13-8.
Yeah, and they're scoring a lot of runs. I mean, the first three series here of the conference season, you got UAB, you got UTSA, and Charlotte. I believe all in a row. I believe that's right. And so you kind of the story's going to be told in these next 3 weeks, in my opinion. Who knows what will happen down the road with the conference tournament, but in terms of regular season title, I think that a lot of the stories going to be told in these next 3 weeks. This is a big gas series, and fans need to come out, and they will. I'm going. I guess I don't normally go to basketball games, but I'll be there Saturday, hopefully, and that's the plan. And
who would you talk to get tickets?
Some butt. But it's a big series. So hopefully we can take 2 out of 3 from JR. Would you say 2 out of 3 from UAB would be more than acceptable at this point? Do we need to sweep it?
Yeah, because we haven't swept
anyone
yet. And
well, you know what? You don't have to if you take 2 out of 3 every conference series.
No, we're past that point though, Kyle, because we got off to it. We're 7-7-1 on the weekend.
Right, but if you win every conference series 2-1, you're going to win the title.
Not at home though. At home, we have to. We gotta sweep some teams. We just have to. But luckily though, I mentioned earlier, Kyle, UAB is sitting at 34 in RPI. I don't think. Obviously that's not going to be something they're going to maintain, but it would be a good. It would be a good series win for us if we won 2 out of 3, I guess. But I think in the long run, I think we need to, and I hate to say every week we got to win 3 out of 3, but I do think this weekend
I disagree, man. Count up if we won every series 2-1.
Well, we would never host, first of all. So I guess we shouldn't worry. We should just worry about. What good is winning the conference if you don't get to, go to the tournament unless you win the conference tournament? Because
we wouldn't be in that situation. I think how many games are in the conference? So we got how many series do we have? Conference series?
No, we have 27 games.
Okay, so 27 games remaining, or in conference?
In conference.
All right, so you have 27 games. If you won 2 out of 3 every weekend.
18-9.
Yeah. Okay. So 18-9.
That won't get it. If you look at who won the conference every year,
you need to have
nobody has lost 9 games.
Okay.
And won the conference.
All right. I surrendered the argument to JR.
Well, I'm not trying to win the argument, but you made a great point though about these first 3 weeks. Geez, you got a UTSA and then come back and play Charlotte. But we do have 5 home series. There's 9 series, like we just said, and not every team can play 5 home. Obviously half of us have to play 5, the other 5 play 4. So we do have 5 home series. We need to take advantage of that and turn this series into sweeps as much as we can.
Yeah, you got to sweep every weekend, but I think if you win every series and sweep a couple, I'd have to look at what our overall record would be. So what do you think? Take hosting out of the equation. What do you think we need to do the rest of the season to make the tournament, counting midweek games? 2 seed on the road.
Midweek, we're looking great at midweek. We're 6-1, but we got some tough ones coming up. I feel like conference-wise,
you're gonna have to win about 22, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say 22-5, Dave. That's funny. Oh, you're a mind reader, or you're just
to host, or
I think to win the conference, right?
No, I'm not saying to win. If we do well midweek and we finish second in the league, I guess we'd be a bubble team for as a 2 or 3.
Okay. You're saying to host a regional, we would have to. Yeah, we would even. I don't even think that might not even do it. We would have to win against Duke and State, maybe sweep them, and then go like 23-4 or 24-3. There's just not much room for error at this point to host. But it's not the end of the world if you don't host. We're just spoiled. We're lucky that we hosted as much as we have. Everybody wants us to, but
right. But what do you think we would have to do just to be a 2 or a 3 on the road?
Oh, okay. Well, it depends on who you win those games against. Kyle, you sweep a couple, go 2-1 against the rest. Sweep maybe 4 of the 9, and we have some weak opponents coming up, like Wichita, Rice. I mean, Rice's RPI is great right now, but they're not that good. Anyhow, to answer your question, you sweep 3 or 4, go 2-1 the other ones. I think you're in good shape if you can split with Duke and NC State, or maybe win 3 out of 4 and not.
And that's and honestly, from what I've seen on this team to date, that's all I'm worried about. I'm not. I don't have hosting in my equation at this point.
I don't either, Kyle, because it's a luxury, and it'll be awesome if it happens, and it still could happen. But I'm not looking at that either. I just want to get there. I just want to have a chance.
Yeah, just get there, but without having to win the conference tournament.
I agree, Kyle.
Yeah.
Wow, we're solving world problems here tonight.
What do we got? 34 regular season games left?
30. Let's see. Have we played 21, 35?
Okay. I mean, 30. Yeah. I think you definitely have 35 games. I think you got to win. You probably got to win 25 of those. I mean, you probably got to go 25-10 at least for the rest of the regular.
That would give us 38 wins, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think Josh is talking about to host. We need to win 40.
Yeah, I think 38 going into the conference tournament would get us a 2, maybe a 3 somewhere, regardless.
Yeah, I think our RPI would be high enough because of midweek, and reputation also matters. So I think you get to 38 wins. We would be in. I would be shocked if we didn't get in with 38 wins. Although Lafayette got left out last year with 39 wins?
Yeah, but their strength of schedule nowhere near.
Yeah.
Well, here's an interesting stat that really, I'm going to call my own stat stupid because it's not really the formula for success. But the last 4 times that we've won 8 midweek games, we've hosted a regional. And we have 6 right now, 6-1. But
boy, we better get hot.
No, we only need 2 more to reach that 8, the magic 8 number.
Right, but we're going to have to do something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And like Kyle said, it's about who you beat as well. 2 out of 3 is great, but we don't do we really have, other than Coastal, do we really have any signature wins at this
North
point?
Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, Coastal and Carolina, but we need more. I think we definitely need to make a splash.
Well, we have the opportunity to do that in conference against UTSA.
Yeah.
So. And South Florida as well they're very well thought of. But I won't be surprised if South Florida gets ranked at some point in the next few weeks if they if they take care of business.
You still got to play State as well. So that
we got NC State. We've got Duke coming up.
Do we have UNCW? I believe in you too as well. They're going pretty strong.
Yeah, we already beat them.
Yeah, Josh says he's manifesting it now. We are hosting, so I'm glad.
All right,
thank you, Josh. Hey, Alan.
Yeah,
I might have given you some bad information. I said there were 35 games left, but one of those games is Campbell, and we all know that game probably won't happen at the end of the year.
Well, why don't you think that'll happen? You think they're up?
There's always some weather issue or something where some mystery. We don't, because Kyle, it's right before the conference tournament. Well, at least it was this year.
But we may need that game for a win or for an RPI. Yeah. So
I'm just ready to beat Campbell.
Yeah.
No kidding. End this.
6 straight and by 1 run, right? 6 straight.
Yeah. That's impossible to do.
I mean, the thought of that is just like disgusting.
Yeah, it's just impossible. Mathematically, it's about impossible.
I don't hate Campbell, but the fact that we're losing to Campbell sucks.
It does.
And I'm just, again, we have to, Kyle was talking about the mentality. Hey, Kyle, by the way, hey, Johnny, tell Kyle about High Point University, what allegedly they spent for NIL for basketball.
Well,
they have a lot of money there.
Yeah, the people listening are probably tired of hearing about High Point, but yeah, Kyle already knows that.
I know what they spent.
That High Point has a lot of money.
Yeah, they have a lot of money.
Reported that they spent $4 to $5 million, Kyle, on their
Oh,
roster.
they got a shitload of money and wealthy donors, and that university has completely changed its identity over the last 15 years or so. It is now a prestigious university that rich kids want to go to, and so that doesn't surprise me. They have a lot of money. They just chose to invest in basketball. That's their primary sport. Our primary sport is football, but we do need to have some kind of standard of success in basketball. Otherwise, if you're not, then just drop the sport altogether. Let's make national news by being like the first Division I school to drop basketball. I mean, either make it some kind of priority or drop it.
The future is now.
Yeah, that's what Tommy West said when he left Memphis. He and they did. He said, when he got fired, I think people need to give Tommy West credit when he got fired for the turnaround of Memphis football. And in his post, when he left, he said, I won here and then I didn't. He said it happens for a lot of coaches here. He said over and over. He said y'all hire a coach, he does okay at the beginning, and then it tails off, and you fire the coach. It happens over and over with Memphis football. He said either invest in it and fix it or do away with it. He said because the next coach is going to be just like me. He's going to end up fired after 5 or 6 years. And somebody listened in that athletic department, and Memphis football became a priority. And people don't even think now back to those days. If those of us that have been around a long time and followed Conference USA, remember when Memphis football was a joke through the 90s and early to mid 2000s.
Yep.
But over the last 15 to 20 years, that all has changed. And it was really when Tommy West got fired and challenged the administration and the donors on the way out that really changed. And it's kind of like what could happen in East Carolina basketball if somebody would take it serious. And look, the number one priority for Memphis is still basketball. Football's number 2 there still. And basketball is always going to be number 2 here, maybe even 3. But you got to spend enough on it, and it's not even so much what we spend; it's the attitude we have towards it. If it's ever going to be successful, if not, But my point is, if you decide to invest in it and you make the right decisions, and the fans can get behind it, I'm not saying that ECU football will have the success ECU basketball will have the success Memphis football's had over the last 15 to 20 years. But 15 to 20 years from now, our horrible basketball days could be a distant memory.
Yep.
Obviously, what we've been doing over the last number of years is not working. So we're going to have to change the mindset and the way we do things immediately, or the same thing's just going to keep on happening over and over and over and over.
Yep. Fix it or do away with it. I mean, it's really
Tommy West. Didn't the guy that followed Tommy West, wasn't he like really, really bad? Weren't they like, didn't he win like 3 games?
No, that was Justin Fuentes.
No, Fuentes wasn't right after Tommy West. Fuente.
Yeah, it was.
I thought Fuente started in 2012. Because he won Coach of the Year. He won Coach of the Year.
I'm 99% positive Fuente was right after Tommy West.
Right. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Y'all want to arm wrestle?
I'm looking up. Hold on. No. Okay. Oh, yeah. They hired the running backs coach from Auburn, Larry Porter, who coached for 2 seasons and went 3-21.
I don't even remember that, but you're right.
Yeah, that's how bad they were. They were so bad,
yeah,
Kyle,
well,
didn't even remember them.
Still, nonetheless, what Tommy West said, I like the way I tell the story better. They fixed it after Tommy. But for those 2 years out the pasture, I still think what Tommy West said resonated at some point.
Oh yeah, I agree with you, because after that, they definitely stepped it up.
Well,
you're right. I remember when they hired him. Now he was with the Saints, if I remember right, when they hired him.
Could have been.
Almost positive. A black gentleman.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe he was running backs coach for the Saints when they hired him. Now you jog my memory, and I remember it.
Yeah, that. But the fact that like when Duke football was really bad, they made an emphasis to put. They were scared. Duke was scared they were going to get kicked out of the ACC because the ACC had started making football a priority, and they put money into football. And ever since then, for the most part, they've had at least bowl seasons, if at the very least. So if Duke football can change, then so can Pirate basketball.
Yeah, and quite honestly, and I don't think this is what our athletic department needs to say. I don't think we need to be saying, "Hey, let's go to the NIT," but I do think that would, if you get a head coach in here, the standard's so low. You get a head coach in here, and year 2 he goes to the NIT, and then year 4 he goes to the NIT, and then year 6 we finally get eliminated in the first round of the NCAA tournament. They'll build a statue to him.
Yeah. By the way, Larry Porter was at LSU.
Okay. All right. So
Louisiana.
Yeah. I knew he was down that way when they hired him.
Right state.
You know who was though, Kyle? You're still on target though, because I think Reggie Howard took over. He was the interim coach in the Gasparilla Bowl, and he was from the Saints. Just this recent when Silverfield left. So maybe you're thinking about that.
I wasn't. I was thinking about Porter. Did he play running back for the Saints?
I don't think so.
I don't know why I want to associate him with the Saints. It could have just been the Louisiana thing.
Larry Porter also spent some time at Carolina.
Yeah, Porter Wagner was in the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, I love Porter. I love Porter Wagner, by the way. Yeah.
And Kyle, I will always love you.
Reggie Howard, since we're talking Carolina Panthers, Reggie Howard, that guy that was the interim coach for the Gasparilla Bowl, he had an interception in the Super Bowl for the Panthers.
By the way, I haven't heard the whole interview, but I am ecstatic because guess who's Johnny and Alan will appreciate this. Guess who's going to be coming to women's basketball games because their daughter is going to be playing for the East Carolina Pirates?
Sheryl Crow.
No. former Redskin cornerback, I believe it was a corner, Fred Smoot.
Yep.
Fred Smoot. Oh my goodness.
He did radio for Redskins too. He may still do radio.
He does the post game.
He does, yeah. He was very entertaining, Alan, to say the least. Fan favorite for sure.
Oh yeah, but his daughter.
Fan favorite for sure.
But apparently,
Magnum TA.
I can't wait to hear that basket by Smooth.
You know it's coming.
Ron Behringer, Morgan Ehlers, get ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. But I want to let y'all know that
Whitney the hobo.
Wow, he was my neighbor. Jack
Uncle Paul, baby.
Jack Roper lived in my neighborhood, so
love Whitney the hobo.
Yep, good stuff. You guys,
it's time to not wind up another cartoon. What the hell do you say about crank up another cartoon? So it's time to crank up another cartoon.
No doubt. Good luck to the Pirates this weekend, and we'll be back on Sunday night. We'll have the player of the game, the player of the week, rather, the pitcher of the week, and hopefully we can.
And hey, look, I'll be making a rare appearance at a baseball game. Come out. You can hold my binoculars for me. So I can see.
Kyle will be signing autographs.
I'll sign autographs. You can touch my hernia.
He'll have plenty of crayons.
You can touch my hernia. You can touch my hernia. $5 more if you want me to lift up my shirt. So
that was a Florida Georgia Line song. What? You can touch my hernia.
It was off their album We Suck.
I would say something. Those guys are cool guys. I don't care what you say.
Thank you, Alan.
I'm telling you, those guys.
High five, Alan. High five.
We talk about that. I would just say this: we talk about in country music all the time. And we'll get out of here, but I'll make a quick point. It's funny because going back to Johnny Cash, because he had the horns and
no. It ain't about it not being country.
No,
look, I listen to Paul.
The lack of musical ability.
I listen to Paul Coffin, who ain't traditional country. It's the lack of creativity.
Yes, sir.
It ain't that it ain't look, I can handle things that ain't straight traditional country if they're creative. There's
Correct.
nothing creative about Florida Georgia Line.
Correct.
It
Girl,
is
you're
the
looking
most,
so good in the back of that truck. Got my tailgate down, and the moon is high, and so am I. And you know, blah,
it's,
blah,
it's,
blah, blah,
it's the
blah, blah.
most basic bull crap
Yep.
that, hey, I'm a redneck in the back of my truck sipping on Bud. Look at that girl in her tank top, tan legs. Yeah,
Right.
we gonna have a good
They have
time.
number ones, baby. They have number
You know
one.
why?
Yeah, but their
Because
formula. I
simple
agree with
people like
Kyle.
simple things.
It's formula.
All their number one,
Exactly.
number two.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Alan.
That's the problem we have in country, though. It's not country. It's not.
No, it's
Well,
not. The problem we have in country is exactly that. It ain't country. Mainstream
Kyle brought
country
up
radio is.
Wagner earlier. Now that's country. Now is Florida Georgia Line and Florida and Porter Wagner in the same category?
No, but neither is REM and Metallica, but it's all rock and roll. You can. It's not about having to be strictly traditional country. It's about it not being creative.
Correct.
Look, Cody Jinks has metal elements to his music.
What about that other guy?
I'm not gonna say his name because I don't have any liquor. But Ward, well, I will say his name. Ward Davis is one of the best songwriters out there, and he has pop elements to a lot of his songs. So it's about creativity, and there ain't a lot of it in mainstream country, unfortunately.
You like Kenny Chesney?
I like Kenny Chesney's older stuff. I like some of his stuff. I'm not a big fan of that everything was at the beach era.
I agree. I totally agree.
But before and after that's good.
Yeah, I agree. He got very formula driven.
Yeah, formulaic. Yep. And then he got good again. So Kenny Chesney 95 till about 2002, and then Kenny Chesney 2012 to now.
I like the beach stuff, but
some of the beach stuff's okay. Some of the beach stuff's okay.
Over and over.
Right, exactly. Like once you heard it at the beginning, like when the sun goes down, great song. But then it got every song was the same. All right, you're not Jimmy Buffett, brother. I mean, so it's some of it's good. I mean, some of it was good. Like Anything But Mine came out during that time, which ain't a like I'm at the beach song, but he made it fit that era he was doing of it's got a beachy feel, and he needed to lean more into that. He needed to lean more into give something a beachy vibe without having to sing about actually being at a friggin' beach. Alan, you agree?
I totally agree. He had some great records.
Yep.
But formula started to work. I'm sure the record company and those around him said, you got to do more of that.
Yeah.
They beat that formula to death.
Yeah, it was like Toby Keith with the patriotic stuff.
Yeah.
I love Toby Keith.
Yeah.
And I think, I've seen Toby Keith in concert 4 times and loved Toby Keith, but he leaned too much in at one point to the red, white, and blue patriotism to the point where, he had a few with the Dixie Chicks that got completely out of hand and really, for a period, hurt their career.
Yeah.
But still, I love him. But I think he went through a formulaic period. And if you look at Toby's best music, it was before and after that little period. Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue was fantastic. He didn't have to try to remake that 5 times.
Yeah, I think the Dixie Chicks, we got to go, but I think the Dixie Chicks got a raw deal. And if you're looking for a great Dixie Chick song that was not a huge hit, Long Time Gone.
Great song. Great song.
Dixie Chick song.
I like Not Ready to Make Nice.
That's a great song too.
But what they said back 25 years ago, today is said every day in the media. So,
yeah.
Who cares? If they didn't like the president, I don't care.
I wish they wouldn't have dropped Dixie from their name and instead of just going by the Chicks. Come on. Yeah. But I'd go see them in concert. I've never seen them, and I would totally go.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
There's no shame in Dixie. Ask Dixie Beer how it's going when they decided to change
Well,
their
the
name.
dumbest one was Lady Antebellum changing to Lady A. Most people don't even know what that means. The word antebellum in the period it represents. The average person doesn't even know, and that was just beyond being PC. That was just unnecessary.
Completely ridiculous.
Yeah, but go on the street right now, find 10 people. Ask, well, maybe not this time of night. Might not be the best crowd, I guarantee you. But go on the street, find 10 people, ask them what the word antebellum means without looking it up.
Yeah.
Go to Alan. Go down to Marlin's down there on Railroad Street. What goes on there? I'm just curious. Do you know what I'm talking about, Alan?
Go down to Marlin's.
Marlin's Bar down there in Winterville.
I've been.
You've never seen it?
I've been to the Doghouse Tavern many times, but never Marlin's.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. You need a membership to get in.
Is it?
Where's it at in Winterville?
I'm not familiar with the Marlins.
Okay, it's not terrible. It's like if you're at the police station, you cross the street, you got this like the Salvadorian restaurant on the corner. Then to the right of that, you have like the dog.
What the hell are
grooming
you doing
place.
in Winterville, JR? What are you, El Salvadorian
I spend a lot of
restaurant?
time there.
Yeah, apparently.
He's
going to the El Salvadorian restaurant in Marlin.
Yeah, there's a ber called Marlin's. You got to be a member to get in. People come in there like with crock pot, like a crock pot full of food, and I just don't know what goes on there. But I'm curious.
I will investigate and find out.
I'm sure it's a lively crowd. That's what I'm trying to get at. If you wanted to ask them a question after midnight, I'm sure there'd be plenty of people there that would answer your question and do it
I'll
with.
have to check it out. Well, guys, I gotta go. My wife's ready to go to bed, and she's going to bed without me. So I gotta go because
happy wife, happy life.
She's gonna turn the lights out on me here in just a minute. So
it's kind of like Kmart.
Yeah, you don't have to get off the phone with the guys, but you can't stay in here.
There you go,
sort of thing.
All right,
I've enjoyed it.
All
right, Alan.
We'll see you guys. We'll be back Sunday nights at 8:00 right here as we hopefully are talking about an extra innings. A sweep by the Pirates. Thanks, guys. And great to have Kyle from LaGrange Barber on as well.
And Alan's not leaving.
Well, Florida-Georgia line still sucks.
All right.
Yes, they do, Alan.
On that night, let's go to bed. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.